Story 1.
I, 24 female, dated a guy a few years ago, late 2019, who was previously my friend. It was very much one of those relationships where I probably would have never dated him if we weren't already friends. After 4 months of us dating, I was tired of his weird, clingy behavior and broke it off with him. I made it clear to him at this time that I wanted him to stop talking to my family so that we could gracefully part ways and move on with our lives. He told me I can do whatever I want. I pleaded with him, but he made it clear that he was not concerned about my feelings. During the relationship, my very introverted family liked him, my dad and sister in particular, and they had become friends with him. For context, prior to them being friends, my dad has no close friends, and my sister, 17 at the time, doesn't seem to have many close friends that she confides in. After the relationship ended, my dad and sister would frequently be texting my ex and even were hanging out with him without me knowing, then lying about it when I asked if they still had contact with him. At this point, I had moved on to a new relationship. It was very uncomfortable to know that my family was so involved with my ex-boyfriend even after I moved on. My mom was the only one on my side and I found out through her that this was all happening. I informed my dad and sister how uncomfortable it made me feel for them to continue this friendship with my ex behind my back. They would act like they were going to stop talking to him, then a few months would go by, and I would find out again through my mom that they were lying to me and still texting him. They made plans to hang out, and he was even coming to their house, or my dad and sister would go to his house. This continued to happen over the next few years, where they would lie and say they had stopped talking to him, then a few months later I would find out the truth. My mom has been the only one on my side this entire time. My mom told me she has expressed to my dad and sister that what they were doing is wrong, but they wouldn't listen. This past year in 2022 I thought I had this uncomfortable conversation for the last time with my dad and sister, expressing how much it hurt my feelings, and they seemed to act like they would actually stop talking to him. Of course, I should have known they were lying. Also, he is the kind of person who doesn't seem to understand those boundaries either, and it has been mind-blowing to even have to have these conversations with both him and my family. I had texted him a few times to stop talking to them, and I don't believe he had responded anything significant to me. It has been painful to go back and forth like this and knowing that my family is choosing this guy over me. I thought that family loyalty was a thing. I guess it's not for my dysfunctional family. So here is the most recent event. It has been several months since I last spoke to my dad and sister regarding this issue. I am in a very healthy, wonderful relationship with my dream guy, and things couldn't be going more perfectly. Just a few days ago, my sister texted me and said that she couldn't hide her feelings anymore, and that she was dating my ex. After talking to my dad, this has seemed to be going on as of December 2022, but my sister finally told me. Now, she is 20 years old, and he is 25. It is so bizarre to me that he would be interested in her at all, because he had known me and my family for several years at our tiny private school. My other guy friend, 24, that went to the same school, and knows my ex, said that he could never look at my younger sister that way, which kind of confirms this feeling off. I truly believe my ex has been manipulating my sister through all of this, and in a way grooming her since he has talked to her since she was underage, 17. It was so incredibly painful that my sister would do this to me. It is so frustrating that my ex could never move on and not be involved in my life. I had to explain all of this to my current boyfriend, and he was totally understanding and supportive of me. But this will affect so many things. Even if their relationship ends, and if my dad and sister cut him off for real, this will leave a permanent scar on our family relationship. I know my dad and sister like my boyfriend, but I can't expect my boyfriend to take my dad or sister seriously, or have any respect for them because of their severe lack of boundaries with my ex. How am I supposed to ever trust them again? I don't want to cut them off, but at this point, their actions have been so intentional and not at all considerate of my feelings. I am not sure what to do. I have been extremely clear, countless times, about how it makes me feel. My dad has shown signs of understanding my side now, but it is too late. My sister seems lost. My mom and I are close, but this very much impacts our relationship as well. Not sure where to go from here.
My opinion. Well, this situation is not easy, and your feelings might be easily understood. But look for it from the other side. You had nothing serious with this guy. 4 months relationship cannot be considered seriously. You told that you moved on, but it doesn't seem like this. You're still thinking about this guy, but he doesn't communicate with you, only with your father and sister. Given how much time has passed since then, you should have really moved on and forget about this guy. He didn't do anything bad for you, as I understood, you were just tired of his behavior. Your dad and sister seem to be okay with that, so the problem seems to be not with this guy, but with your attitude to it. If I were you, I'd probably stop thinking about this situation and leave it as it is. Everyone are adults and can do whatever they want to do in this regard. If you can't change a situation, you can change your attitude toward it, as Abraham Lowe once said. Live your life. This guy shouldn't bother you, even if he is a friend of your father and dating your sister. Let it go. Story 2.
I dated a guy, let's call him Sam, for about 2 years. He was a good friend and previous coworker of mine for several years before we ever got together. About a year ago he broke up with me, out of the blue, no discussion. I thought that we would get married someday. I was fully committed that he was the one, not that I truly believe that I know that it takes work from both people to have a rewarding relationship. I begged and pleaded that I would do anything to make it work. He was comforting during the breakup period but firm in his decision. We tried to remain friends but realized that no contact was the best way for both of us to move forward. I went on a few dates, had a fling, and got past my I'll never find anyone else and rebound stages. I finally felt that I had moved on and realized that while I cared deeply for Sam, ultimately our breakup helped me grow in ways that I wouldn't have otherwise. Flash forward to today, I've been dating a guy, Adam, for a few months. We are doing a long-distance relationship. We met, dated for a few weeks, and then I left to pursue my career in another state. Things were slightly rocky, but overall, I felt that I would regret not trying to get to know this guy more. Last month he broke up with me a week before my first scheduled visit to go see him. I stupidly reached out to my ex for comfort. Adam and I ended up talking, getting back together, and had an amazing long weekend together. It dissipated doubts that both of us had and helped me realize that I did want to continue the LDR. Since I've returned home, he seems more committed than before I came to visit. Last week Sam confessed that he wanted to get back together. He said that he was committed to getting me back when I reached out to him that Adam and I had ended. That he would do anything, include moving to where I am. He begged me to give him another shot and said that I would not regret this decision. My gut instinct is telling me that I should stay with Adam and see where our relationship leads. However, the longer that time passes, I'm starting to worry that I may be making the biggest regret of my life. Adam is amazing, caring, funny, we have a lot in common, but we've only been together for a few months. We have talked about marriage, just that both of us are open to the idea, not that we are committed to getting married at this stage. It seems we want the same things out of life. We're also long distance for another 1.5 years minimum. On the other hand, I have history with Sam. He was there for me through difficult times and stood by my side. One of the main reasons for the end of our relationship was he didn't believe in marriage or kids. Now he's changing his tune and says he wants me to be the one he grows old with. I know ultimately this is all up to me. I would just like advice from some strangers or anyone who has previously experienced something like this before. I feel like this is a catch-22 or hindsight as 2020 situation. I could honestly see myself happy ending up with either one of these guys, but if it doesn't work out, I'll be kicking myself for not making the better decision.
My opinion. Well, given that your ex left you for no reason, as you say, it seems to me that he is not the most reliable person to build anything serious. He decided to leave you, and when he understood that he's missing you, he decided to make another try with you. This relationship will hold until he feels tired and leave again. If you want to be dependent on such mood swings, this is your choice. But for me, it doesn't sound anything like a healthy relation. I'd choose to stop any kind of relations with that guy and move on. Update.
First, thank you to the people who posted actual positive, real responses to the matter at hand instead of attacking me, and who actually provided insight to the situation. Things ended with Adam today. He stated he has still been having reservations since we got back together. I told him I honestly was on the fence about him and Sam. We both kind of laughed about it, and I think both parties were slightly relieved. It was very amicable. I also have no plans to go back to my ex. I do believe that people can change, but I don't think I could truly give myself to him again without harnessing resentment and worry that he will again break my heart.
My opinion. Good choice, give it a try with Adam. Even if nothing will work with him, you should not be kicking yourself for this choice. People may change, but this relationship with Sam will end as he gets tired again. You may grow old together, but there is always a chance that this will happen at the most unexpected time. What are your thoughts about this story? Let me know in the comment box below. Story 3.
7 years ago, my 21 female fiancé, 19 male Matthew, we were going to get married in 3 months. I was over the moon finally going to spend the rest of my life with my fiancé, but that all came crashing down when we talked about kids. I always wanted 5 kids, and when I told him, he said he never wanted kids. We had fights and called off the wedding. I was so heartbroken, I cried for so many months, depressed, regretted my decision. Then it had been 4 years since that. Then I found my ex-husband. We tried for kids but found out I was infertile. He divorced after telling me he would never leave again. Again, depression, sadness, insecurities, envious for my friends. Now it has been 7 years and I'm now married with my husband, 30M, and 4 failed rounds of IVF. I haven't seen my little sister, Lisa, 24F, in 7 years. She was in another country for her studies. If I'm honest, Lisa was all I ever wanted to be. She had beautiful blue eyes, brown hair and an hourglass body and amazing confidence. She was also a model where I got rejected. I went to her house for the first time, and I could tell she was rich. It was not a house but a mansion. I saw her, she was beautiful even more than last time we talked. Turns out she had a husband and 4 kids. I was happy for her, but then I saw her husband. It was my ex-fiancé, Matthew. He looked so handsome more than ever. Then I saw their kids. I immediately asked Matthew that. He said he never wanted kids with me. He told me he didn't. His wife, my sister, did, so he just fulfilled her wish. Matthew looked at Lisa with so much love. They had so pretty and cute kids. My sister asked me if I planned on having kids. I told her I'm infertile. She said sorry and said she hopes I succeed in my next round of IVF. She even told me if I'm low on money, she will be more than happy to help. I felt so sad, angry, envious. She was so nice even after I was so rude to her in our childhood. My husband and I left early, and just as we reached home, he started comparing me to Lisa. She made more money than me. She was prettier than me. She could have kids. He told me he's 30 now. He can't wait any longer, so he's divorcing me. I'm heartbroken. I'm going to stay away from sister. She's always been the perfect one. Even our grandma and grandpa favored her. Our brothers loved her. Our sister loved her. My ex-fiancé loved her.
My opinion. I'm so sorry to hear all that. I have nothing to say, really. Just to wish you all the best with your health. I believe that the next round of IVF will work well, and you will become a happy mother of a pretty child. About your sister, keep relations with her. She seems to be a nice person. Forget your childhood grievances, be happy for her, spend time with your nephews. This may also help with your IVF. Your husband was not very polite. Probably he was upset and said too much. Talk to him. I'm sure he's very sorry about that and he didn't mean this. With you, best of luck. I hope everything will be alright. What do you think about these stories? Let me know in the comments below.